What's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk about film swapping and how you can set your film up so it's a lot easier for the second shooter to line up the frames perfectly. Hey guys. So I'll start out by just going over what film swapping is in case anybody's not aware. It's basically just when two film shooters will each expose a roll of film, and then you send it to the other person, and then you expose the other person's roll of film. And you can get some really cool shots. And I found that some of the coolest shots that I've made were with film shooters across the globe. It's just something really cool about completely different locations around the world exposed on the same roll of film. It really can come up with some awesome results. And a good practice to do when shooting is to rate your film at one stop below. Both shooters would shoot at a stop below, and that would help even the exposure out when everything's said and done. Now, it's not necessary, but it's if both of the shooters are shooting in similar light, then you're going to merge those pretty evenly. Otherwise, one may show up a little bit more than the other. So, for example, if you have 400 ISO, you guys are going to both want to shoot at 800. Or if you have 100, shoot at 200, etc. One of the reasons I think that shooting multiple exposures or film swapping is so fun is because of the unexpected results. You could come up with some really crazy cool images. Now, I'll go through what I do to set a roll up before I send it. I do a couple things different when I load my film up. You want to grab a marker, a Sharpie or some kind of permanent marker. All right. Before we go any farther, you want to take a look at where your shutter window is. Right here and right here. And I already have dots in there you might not be able to see, but I'll put some more in there anyway. Right here at the end of my window, I'll take my Sharpie and I'll do a little dot. Same thing. End of the window, do a little dot. Okay, then set that right down. Then we go ahead and we take our super expired film. This is from like 97 or something. Hopefully we will get pictures out of it. And we roll this in like chop. Okay, so essentially we have set up. Okay, so what you want to do is find your two dots and just draw a line like that. Okay, and I always put like a little X like that right there. That is the shutter window. And then on the leader side, I will put an arrow like that. And it's not a bad idea. I mean, you can do like, this way is up, do an X or an up or whatever. Sometimes upside down frames can look cool. So, I usually don't put the arrow. I just put the X and let the chips land where they may. But something to keep in mind is when you're rewinding your film, don't rewind the leader all the way in. Because it'll be a pain in the ass for the next person. You just want to leave a little bit of a leader out, and you can kind of you'll feel it when you rewind. It'll give a little bit. So just try to leave the leader out. And if you are the person receiving the film, not all of the shutter windows will line up. So what you can do is if you've received a roll of film and the window is blocked off, and yours doesn't really line up after you've started your leader, you can just cut your leader back a little bit. Cut it back so wherever you land it, that will hit your window. And it may not be perfect. And some people prefer not to do any of this. They say, shoot a roll of film, send it to me, and then see what it is, which is kind of cool. But me personally, I prefer to have everything line up. And there's a bunch of resources online where you can meet up with photographers for the sole purpose of swapping. You know, there's Facebook groups, there is some on Flickr, there's a dedicated website now that I've just signed up for called Roll4Roll, and I think it's roll4roll.com. I'll put the link in the description. But basically the whole purpose of that website is to connect people who want to film swap, which is a really cool idea. You get a profile, and then you send a roll in, and then they will connect you with somebody else who wants to do the same thing. And there's the old-fashioned way of just approaching people and saying, hey, do you want to film swap? I've done this a couple times on Instagram, most recently with a photographer out in France. And I'll show a couple pictures here. So there's definitely no shortage of people to swap out with. What about wraps it up for this, guys? If you've enjoyed the video, if you could please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. And every couple days I come out with new stuff. Some are videos like this, others are how-tos, some are overviews. All are film camera related. So if that's your kind of thing, then hit the subscribe button and you'll get the latest and the greatest. I guess until next time, we'll see you. It's basically when two film shooters will...
You've got spam.
I've got spam. Looks like I need to do not disturb.